You aren't lazy because you have a bad work ethic. You are lazy because you have an efficiency deficit. Most people equate hard work with progress, but history's greatest empires weren't built by the people who worked the hardest. They were built by the people who were too impatient to do things the long way. Take Bill Gates. In the late 1970s, Gates famously said he would always hire a lazy person to do a difficult job. Why? Because that person will find an easy way to do it. That's not a critique of character. It is an endorsement of automation. This is the efficiency trap. When you are hyperproductive, you do more work. When you are efficiently lazy, you delete the work entirely. Consider the story of Elias Howe. In 1845, he was watching his wife spend hours hand-stitching clothes. He was tired of watching her suffer through the tedious labor of the needle. He didn't want to help her sew faster, he wanted to make the sewing needle obsolete. He invented the lock-stitch sewing machine. He didn't work harder to make clothes, he revolutionized the entire textile industry by finding a way to avoid the manual labor of his era. Hard workers get promoted, lazy geniuses get automated. There is a massive difference between procrastination and strategic avoidance. Procrastination is avoiding work because you fear failure. Strategic avoidance is refusing to do work because the process is fundamentally stupid. Think about the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist, noticed in 1896 that 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the population. He applied this to his garden and realized 20% of his pea pods produced 80% of his harvest. The hard worker tries to optimize all 100% of their effort. They spend all day weeding the entire garden. The lazy genius ignores 80% of the garden to focus exclusively on the high-yield plants. They get the same result with a fraction of the sweat. This is where the empire building starts. If you spend your time doing low-value tasks efficiently, you are just a faster cog in someone else's machine. If you stop doing those tasks, you are forced to build a system that does them for you. Look at the history of software development. Every single major breakthrough in computer science came from someone who was annoyed. Grace Hopper, the woman who basically invented modern programming, was frustrated by the need to write machine code by hand. It was tedious. It was repetitive. So she developed the first compiler. She essentially invented a way to talk to a computer in plain English, so she didn't have to waste time translating binary. She didn't work harder. She turned the computer into her personal assistant. The trap is that society rewards the busy person. You get praised for sending 50 emails a day. You get a gold star for staying until 7 p.m. But while you are clearing your inbox, the person who automated their email system is busy building a product that renders your job unnecessary. This is why the world's most successful entrepreneurs often seem unbothered. They aren't unbothered because they don't care. They are unbothered because they have systematically removed the friction from their lives. They use negative productivity. Most people focus on what they can add to their day. To be more efficient, you must focus on what you can subtract. Subtract the meetings that could have been emails. Subtract the tasks that don't contribute to the bottom line. Subtract the busy work that justifies your existence but doesn't build your future. When you delete a task, you gain time. But if you fill that time with more busy work, you have failed. You must use that time to build leverage. Leverage is the force multiplier of the lazy. Naval Ravikant, the Silicon Valley investor, defined leverage as the ability to let capital, code, or media do the work for you. If you are a writer, you write one book. If the book is good, it sells while you sleep. That is leverage. If you are a coder, you write one script. It automates a process that would take 10 people 40 hours to do. That is leverage. A hard worker trades their time for money. A lazy genius trades their time for systems. Systems don't get tired. They don't need coffee breaks. They don't complain about the workload. And most importantly, they don't demand a salary increase every year. The efficiency trap is easy to fall into because it feels productive to be busy. It's comforting to see a finished to-do list. But a long to-do list is actually a sign of poor planning. A truly efficient person has a very short to-do list because they've built systems to handle the rest. If you find yourself overwhelmed, stop asking how to do more. Stop asking how to manage your time better. Ask yourself, what can I build, automate, or ignore that would make this task disappear entirely? You don't want to be the fastest runner in the marathon. You want to be the person who figures out how to build a car while everyone else is still tying their shoelaces. The world is shifting. We are entering an era where manual labor and repetitive cognitive tasks are being outsourced to artificial intelligence. If you are still trying to out-hustle the algorithm, you will lose. You cannot work faster than a machine that never sleeps, but you can direct the machine. Empires aren't built on sweat equity. They are built on intellectual defiance. They are built by the people who looked at a mountain of work and decided it was easier to move the mountain than to climb it. So stop working hard, start working smart, and if that makes you look lazy to the people stuck in the efficiency trap, let them watch. While they are busy running on the treadmill, you will be the one holding the remote control. True success isn't about how much you can endure, it is about how little you have to do to achieve the result you want. Are you building an empire or are you just busy?